Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the whole few like men that scattered abroad, pushing this truth without sincerity. And also shalom to your very few sincere sisters that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. And brother, I'm one coming to the video low when it's edifying. Right, and there's two clips I want to play, and pretty much it's going to our people, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives, right? But I want to get into this main thing of them not regarding the time, and you can tell that these are the same spirits that that was with Noah, before the time of the flood, because it was like the same spirit, right? While the prophet, right at the time Noah was out prophesying, he was the people disregarding him, right? The times were getting near because really the time in that time period, the measuring the time was with him getting the actual ark done, then that's when the destruction was coming, so in this current time, right, we measure it through the prophecies on how we know when the destruction is coming, right? So this video and the other video, I had seen it on IG, and then I just seen it again from one of the bros that just put it in the chat, right? But it's going to show you that our people are not regarding the time, and they're gonna be inside the same spirit, right, when shit hit the fan, right? Because we're in a time of war, right? We're seeing these major chess pieces are being moved around the board, right? So we know that we can literally go into that time of war. I'm gonna say we're in the time of war now, right? But you're seeing more heavy moves, So I'm gonna play these clips, and I'm gonna go into Genesis chapter sound, because that's where I want to just start at. Even though you're reading inside verse chapter 6, which I encourage you to read as well, because like I said, it was going to Noah prophesying, and building an ark, putting it in the work, right? Getting prepared for the storm that's coming, right? Which is the flood. I'm gonna play this right quick. I'm gonna play it about 3 times. One more time. Let me turn it down some. I'm gonna play it one more time just in case. See, but that's a spirit though, because Noah was telling them what was finna go down. Noah telling them, man, it's a big ass flood that's coming, man. I just got a vision from the Lord, and hey, this vision is about to be a flood. He finna flood the whole earth. Right? And he trying to get them on board, right? Same thing this current time, man. It's my this time now. Telling our people, hey man, Yahweh Shema Shah finna turn this shit all the way up, man. The grace period is finna close. We almost done building our arcs. So like I said, history merely repeats itself, man. And we're seeing it now, because this right here is finna correlate to the video I'm about to show you, man. Right, out of all these things that's going on, this is where our people at. Let me see if I can get the other video up. Through. I don't want to keep playing the video too much. I'm gonna play it one more time, but niggas just through, man. Nigga worrying about fans and line dancing, man. Whatever that shit is, train dancing. Like it says on the thing, it said World War III starts in 2 days. Meanwhile, black people, right, always trying to disregard the time, always trying to find the fun, Don't even know what's going on. Don't have no type of armor ready for the battle of this spiritual battle that's finna come down, man. Excuse me. Isaiah 33 and 6, Ephesians chapter 6. You know, our people disregarding the times, man, right? We've been telling them, hey, man, you're going to come to a time period where we won't be on the scene. You won't find the videos. And shit will hit the fan, right? But we know our people, they're rebellious, right? They're hard-hearted. And they are seeing is believing, you know? So, like, they hear what we say. Because that's why they're going to react the way they react when shit hit the fan. Because, like, they hear what we saying. But they're not seeing it. You know, their faith is shot. They don't have no faith, right, in the scriptures. So when these things start happening, they're going to be panicking. They're going to be looking for the prophets. They're going to be knocking on our doors, right? Same thing inside the first video, right? So I'm going to play this clip. Excuse me. I'm going to play this clip. I'm going to go to the scriptures. This Genesis chapter 7. Like I said, you can always read chapter 6 as well. It says, for yet 7 days, I'm going to read that verse 4. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded, right? And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth, right? Lord opened up the other sea, or the sea above. It says, and Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as the Most High had commanded Noah. And I'm going to just read all this through. Excuse me. So you can understand what I'm about to go into, right? Because it says nothing new under the sun, right? And later on, I'm going to go into the book of Matthew chapter 24, you know? Because those people was disregarding the time. They was making fun of Noah. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it don't even rain. You know, because at that time, you know, it'll come from the dew, you know, pretty much coming from the ground up, right? Instead of seeing it from the sky down, you know. So they treated Noah the same way how, you know, these people treat us today. Like, oh, that nigga bugged out. He go up that woke shit, you know. But they finna be jokes on them, saying how it was with Noah, right? It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the self-same day entered Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, and the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort, right? So the Lord just pretty much just naming out, you know, things. Well, not just things, but, you know, he specifically, but, you know, you had like certain creatures and animals, right? Cattle, you know, all of those things going into this ark, right? It says, and they went unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. 16. And they that went in, male and female of all flesh, as the Most High had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Right? So going back to that video right quick, it said the Lord shut him in. He didn't just close the door. The Lord shut him in. So that's an AI representation of Yahweh's hand, man. Arm, hand, you know. He shut the door. It says, and that's the thing about it. Ooh, that's the spirit, right? Because it's like pretty much, when you look at it, right? Even though Noah's in the flesh, he was feeling sorry for them folks on the outside. Like, damn, I wish I can help. But said the Lord shut him in, so Noah can open that door if he wanted to, right? And just like in this time, right? I'm not gonna grab it right now, but Ezekiel 3, I think it's like verse 25, you know, goes into like how our tongue shall cleave to the roof of our mouth, right? Because in that time period of Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose, the family of the word, right? And even if we wanted to help you, right, in the time of Jacob's trouble, the scriptures already said, our tongue gonna cleave to the roof of our mouth, right? Meaning we're not gonna be able to tell you nothing, right? It was too late. You know, what the hell? Why the hell we trying to give you counsel and try to get your faith boosted in the time of it actually popping off? It's already being made, it's already manifesting, right? And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bear up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. It says, and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven. And they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. See? Because that ark was, that ark is like this time a chariot for us. If you're not on that chariot, you're not going to make it. And all of those people that was outside that ark did not make it, right? In this time period, hey, we got the Thawa, right? In the spirit, if you could receive it, right? Hey, at that Thawa is exempt from judgment. When the Lord was like, he finna bring on that wrath. Hey, Noah and his family, right? And then the one that was on the ark, the animals, right? They was straight, It says, and the waters prevailed upon the earth in 150 days. All right, so that's just that period, that point, pretty much going off that first video. All right. This is what happened. He warned them folk, they disregarded the times, and guess what? The Lord flooded the whole earth, man, right? And we know that the Lord gave us the rainbow, right, as a promise that he wasn't going to flood the earth with this time. You're right, you guessed it. Thermonuclear missiles, right? Revelation 11 and 14, right? And I think it's also Revelation 9 and 6. But let me grab it just to make sure. Matter of fact, let me inside the NLT. I think it's 9 and 6. So like if it's not. Yep, it's 16. Salakia. Call all Yabashim. Right, I'm going to read that 15 in the NLT. Then the four angels who had been prepared for this hour and day and month and year were turned loose to kill 1/3 of the people on earth, right? Talking about to slay the third part of men, right? Which would be going into really, Esau, Edom, but that's more so America. And I heard the size of their army, right? The army is those missiles. It says which was 200 million mounted troops, right? 200 million troops, 200 million missiles, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? Are going to be coming to America. And this ain't the movie. You know what I'm saying? Right? And they coming to America, man. So that was the promise with the rainbow. Just going to throw that out there. Right? He wasn't going to flood the earth again, but he is going to flood it with thermonuclear missiles. Right? So yeah. All right. So back in pertaining to this, right? Because it said World War III starts in 2 days. Meanwhile, black people, right? Steady chucking and jiving, bullshit, not disregarding the time. They look like some moles, right? So let's get inside the book of Matthew. Right, and I also just want to paraphrase. I'm not going to grab it, but in the book of Romans 15 and 4, you know, it quotes, for the things written aforetime were written for our time of learning, right? Through the comfort of Scripture, we might have hope, roughly paraphrasing. But the main part was the first couple of words, right? The things written aforetime were written for our time of learning, right? So if you know about what happened in the times of Noah, right, and you got somebody in your face telling you what's going on, right? Wouldn't it be wise to, you know, get in line, get in order, so you don't be like the example that was left for us, right? I just start at 32, and I'm gonna read all of these. Most likely it's at the NLT version, right? It says, "Now learn a lesson." Salakia, Matthew 24, verse 32. "Now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near." Right, and that's just off discernment, right? Because you're seeing it happen before your eyes. Like, damn, these things they're sprouting out. That means that time of the season is here, right? In the same way, when you see all these things, you can know his return is very near. Whose return? Yahushua. It says right at the door, right? Because when you read up, right, you read from like 3 on down. You know, the disciples was asking Yahushua, you know, when was he going to return? And you know, he gave them hints. You know, they gave them hints, and we're seeing those hints. I mean, clues, Salakia. Give them clues, right? And we're seeing those things, right? We read from like verse 6 on down, you know, wars, rumors of wars, nation rise against nation, right? We're seeing those things, right? And those rumors, right, going to be, you know, you can go from a rumor to actual action, man. Action. So we're going to see something real soon. But the thing is, it's time to go ahead and get prepared, right? Be on point, you know, because this thing can pop off at any given moment. For verse 33, in the same way, when you see all these things, you can know his return is very near, right at the door, right? That's us measuring the time. It says, "I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all these things take place," right? So, and that's what we're waiting on. Waiting for all these prophecies to come to pass, right? Habakkuk, the second chapter, 3rd verse. "For the vision yet from the appointed time, but the end shall speak and not lie." Verse 35. It says, "Heaven and hell will disappear, but my words will never disappear." Right? The Lord's words got to come to pass. He's not going to He's not going to just skip over a prophecy, man. No, all his words, all his things he have said is going to come to pass. Verse 36. "However, no man knows the day or hour when these things will happen. Not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself," who is the Son, Yahushua. "Only the Father knows," right? The Father is Yahweh, right? So the thing is, we don't know the time hour when shit gonna pop off. We don't know the hour, you know, the time when Yahushua gonna return. But he left us signs, right? And that's why we in that grace period, discerning those signs instead of, you know, building ourselves up. You know, it says, "When the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in Noah's day." Right? And we just showed you how it was with Noah's day, man. It was, it got ugly. You know, it was too late. It was too late. And when you go to the scriptures, so Jeremiah 30:7, he said it's gonna be like a time like never before. Right? He said it would be like it was in Noah's days, right? And not just saying it's gonna be just like how it was in Noah's days, but it like as far as like the how people was acting, you know, yeah, paying attention or not paying attention. You know, people gonna be in shock. Like, damn, those prophets was right. Well, hey, the Bible says in the book of Ezekiel 33:33, "When all these things shall come to pass, Lord shall come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them." right? I bet them folks knew then, right? Noah was a prophet. Like, damn, Noah's let us in. We didn't top all their cash money shit towards you, and but it didn't goddamn start pouring out here. You know, so same thing for us when in these times to come, man. Right? You know, we believe that we hopefully elect. Right? So it says when the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in Noah's day. It says, in those days before the flood, the people were enjoying banquets and parties and weddings right up to the time Noah entered his boat. Right? Let me read to the KJV. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Right? So pretty much they were just, like I said, just joking it up, having fun, not even paying attention, not even understanding that, you know, WWE3 is closer than we believe. And with that being said, we know that the MOTB is even closer. You know? But yet these people are not paying attention. Right? So that's why we understand what Jeremiah has said. Hey, pray not for these people. You know, don't even feel sorry for them. Look how they moving. You know, they dead. They the walking dead, the true walking dead. Verse 39, it says people didn't realize what was going to happen until the flood came and swept them all away. That is the way it will be when the Son of Man comes, right? And I'm going to stop right there, right? Because when Yahushua comes, it'll be the same way. They had so many opportunities to get this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding while they can, right? And they disregarded it, right? So when we get done, when the Lord get done sealing up the 144, right? The 144,000, right? And the elect is game over with. Right. So I'm gonna close out with that though. You know, just want to go into that, man. Right? These people are the same ones from the flood. I had said about the Thawa, I'll bring that out. Right. Verse 4 really the point. It's and I stop at verse 4. Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So in this current time, right, we are those men that sigh and crying about the abominations, the thing that been done, the thing that's been going on, man. Right, the Lord told the angel, he set a mark upon those, right? So I don't hit them, you know, he come through with that sword, you know. You know, that mark going to exempt from judgment. He says, and to the others, and he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the midst of the city and smite. And let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity, right? And that's the same thing about it, how it was with the flood. The Lord didn't even show no pity, man, right? 8 folks out of the whole world, 8 folks. That's crazy, right? But he come doing the same thing again, even worse. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And began at my sanctuary, then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, right? So the Lord come to pretty much, you know, spank a lot of people, man. You know, get them up out of here because why? They disregarded the times and the Lord just don't need them, right? They're part of that 2/3 crew, right? So I'm going to close out with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Krakadash, double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to you hopeful like men that scattered abroad, and shalom to you very few sincere sisters. Shalom.